now entering the Horror Sanctum.
Hello, and welcome back to the Horror Sanctum podcast. I'm Jay with John, Jordan, and Kellen.
Hey.
TJ has moved out of state and couldn't make it to this episode or the next. So we asked our buddy Jordan, who you met on our Frailty episode, to come back and join us for two back-to-back episodes. He also hasn't been on here with Kellen, so we have a full house.
Yay.
Jordan, welcome back.
Appreciate it. Super excited.
So we said when we did the Frailty episode, we said we would bring you back to do this episode called Bring Her Back. So we brought him back for Bring Her Back. I don't know who said it first. It might have been Kellen. I don't know, but we're going to be talking about Bring Her Back, which is the feel-bad movie of the summer. It is dark, A24. But yeah, here we are. So let's just dig into it. If you're not familiar, it's directed by the Philippou brothers, who did Talk to Me. If you're a fan of the show, you heard the episode we did on Talk to Me, and I'm pretty sure none of us really liked it. TJ might have been a little on the fence. I will admit I will go back and watch it after watching this one, because this one is better, but we'll get to that. A brother and a sister witness a terrifying ritual at a secluded home of their new foster mother. Now, this is a newer movie, so there will be spoilers.
Spoilers aplenty, as there always are. 2025's Bring Her Back, 89% on Rotten Tomato, which is highly unusual for a horror film. It is the A24 elevated horror genre that we have lamented about a bunch on this show. Surely we'll get away from that soon enough, that title of elevated horror, and just be horror. Just quit trying to label everything something else. This is an hour and 39 minutes of F this movie. Let me be clear. This is not a bad film. This is an anger-making film. This is one of those movies that you watch from start to finish, and it pisses you off more and more the longer you watch this movie, because everyone keeps making worse and worse mistakes and worse screw-ups until the climax of the film in the pool at this lady's house. It's one of those movies that if you watch this and you go away at the end going, wow, that was amazing, I'm so happy I watched that, you need to see a psychiatrist. You need psychiatric help. There is nobody who should walk away from this movie and go, wow, that was fun. If you walk away and say, wow, that was really well done, yeah, absolutely. He said Talk to Me was the other movie these directors did. That movie is awful. and it's because they made a bunch of characters you don't like. And it's hard to root for people you don't like. And so when they die, you're just kind of indifferent. This is the exact opposite, is you are vehemently wanting them to survive, and it keeps getting further and further away, and you know what's coming. It's A24, so you know they're not going to give you a happy ending. This is not going to be the Wizard of Oz where Dorothy wakes back up in the bed in her home and everything's fine. If Dorothy wakes up, she's lost both of her legs and she's being tortured by a captivist. The movie is one of those ones where the acting's really good, the cinematography's really good, the scenes are unsettling. It's everything you would want from a horror movie, minus anything that you would actually want from a horror movie that makes you feel good about watching it. I can't stress enough that you are not going to come away from this movie feeling good about anything. And it's so weird because that 89% on Rotten Tomatoes, I feel, is deserved because it is a good movie. It's just so hard to watch. And there are some scenes in this, and we've talked about it off the air. The knife scene is one of the hardest scenes to watch in a recent horror film that I can think of, because we all know that feeling of metal on your teeth. And then just to imagine that metal going between your teeth, forcing them apart as you bleed out of your mouth because you're chewing on a knife. Not just that, the kid chewing on the countertop is hard to watch as well. There's just so many things that happen in this movie, and John has a different reason for hating this movie, and I'll let him talk on that when it's his turn. But yeah, the woman in this movie is so infuriating because you know that she's bad and she doesn't do a good job of portraying good except to the daughter, and you know that she's only doing that because of what she wants. This is a movie that is wholly predictable as far as you know what's going on. I mean, yeah, there's a couple of surprises and twists. There's some things that happen while you're watching it that might catch you a little off guard, but for the most part, when you start this movie, you know what is going on. Within 10 minutes, you figured out what she wants this girl for, and then once you see her back or hear her backstory, then you absolutely know what the final the end game for this woman is in this movie, which is why it pisses you off. Because you know what's coming, you know where it's heading, you don't want it to head in that direction, and you're desperately trying to get the brother and the sister to figure out that this woman is not evil but has ill intent for them. But they don't figure it out until it's almost too late. Now, granted, the movie does end in a way that isn't wholly bad, but the things that happen building up to that are so feel bad that by the time the ending comes, that there's no happiness to be had. I think that's the ultimate takeaway from this movie. There is no happiness to be had for anybody. It's just one horrible thing after another until the end credits, and you just walk away going, huh. I almost want to watch Nickelodeon for the next 6 hours just to get this out of my brain. So yeah, it's such a weird feeling to watch a movie and know that it's good but hate it. Does that make sense to anybody to know that what you've just watched is a good movie? It's well done, and I hated every second of it. I'm done. Jordan, your thoughts?
So I may be one of those people who may need to see a psychologist, because I am a huge fan of like anticlimactic endings. I don't know. I got to watch, this is years ago now. I got to watch like the original Paranormal Activity with its original ending. And if you guys ever seen that, it's very super anticlimactic. Everyone's dead. Movie ends. It's very dramatic, and I loved the ending of this movie. I've watched this in theaters previously. Like my wife is very squeamish, so she doesn't like brutal horror or anything like that. So I kind of was like, you stay home. I'm gonna go watch this movie. And the initial watch through that I saw, it gave me a lot of like gruesome horror. So like the knife chewing and like the desk eating and all those kind of things. But the second time I got to watch with my wife, and I actually got to sit down and like kind of pay attention to what's going on. And like, it does walk a lot through like the grieving process. And I think I kind of poked around and saw some different ideas. And like, one of the big things they always come back is like bargaining. Like the woman, Sally Hawkins that plays Laura. Her big thing is like, she can't let go. She can't let go of a lot of things. She has like her stuffed dog in the living room. She's talking about stuffing her cat when the cat passes away. And you're kind of seeing that part of the grief process. And I mean, anyone who ever lost anything or anybody can probably feel to a degree how this woman feels in that moment, but she kind of takes it and just like rides it. You know what I mean? She's all about that. And yeah, Sally Hawkins did a phenomenal job in that role of making you hate her. Like the entire time you're watching this movie, you're like, I cannot believe these kids do not understand what's happening. Like, even like the scene where she's urinating in the pot and pouring it on the sun, like to get him to think that he's urinating, because she's a psychologist, or therapist or something like that. She knows like the signs of a grieving child, and so she's trying to make this kid basically gaslight him into believing that he's crazy. I thought that was crazy awesome. That whole aspect of it was pretty mind blowing. But man, I took way too many notes on this one. Like, I was super in depth on this watch through. Some of the cool things that I noticed is like on this second watch through is the kind of like quibs that she throws in to kind of either piss off or confuse the kid. Like, she even at one point admits to potentially killing the father, which I don't know if that's necessarily really what happened, or if it's just a way to kind of basically gaslight him into thinking different things. But But overall, yeah, like obviously the brutality of it was pretty crazy initially, but the anticlimactic ending, love it. I know you're absolutely right, Kellen. Like afterwards, my wife was like, "We need to get a palate cleanse on this. We need to watch something happy after this situation." But yeah, man, I the second watch through, I got a lot more from the movie. I honestly, when it first started, I was kind of like, oh, I'm a kind of concerned because you watch a movie the first time, you're like, man, that movie was great, and then after you watch it 2 or 3 more times, you're like, yeah, this movie is not as good as I thought it was. Actually, I think this movie made it better watching it the second time. So that's kind of my 2 cents in that. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have on that. John.
Oh, no, I thought I didn't know. I didn't want to go too fast. Yeah, I hated Talk to Me. I did, and I had kind of anticipated this movie for a while. I really like, dreaded it because like I hate Sally Hawkins. She's got a weird mouth. She's too British. She's like got this whole I'm whimsical and British thing going on. Every time I see her, I just think of that what's the thing on the Nothing Beats a Jet 2 Holiday on TikTok. That whole I don't know. I sound like I hate British people. I low key just kind of get annoyed by British horror movies. I don't know why. She's a good actress. I just think she is like one of those people that I can't explain it. I just see her face and I get annoyed. I can't really explain
you
it.
said you hate British horror, so I'm just gonna say TJ's not here, but his ears just perked up when you said that.
Oh yeah,
Wherever he
right,
is.
yeah.
I was only
Like-
half listening. I thought he said I hated that British horror.
No, British horror. Yeah, yeah, right. No. I mean, I love like Shaun of the Dead and stuff, but but this movie, I'll be honest, I like it. Honestly, I do like it. I enjoyed it. They Raka, the Philippou brothers, they know how to shoot a movie. Technically, I don't think anybody can argue they know how to shoot film. They know how to set up stories. Overall, I think it's a very, very brutal movie. It's not the worst thing I've seen though. I don't know what that says about me, but I was not as I was not as shocked by it as I anticipated. Like I was expecting so much worse, and I kind of was like, okay. Like I wasn't that bothered by it. Like something like My Girl, that bothers me. Like the Macaulay Culkin spoiler, the bee death, that bothers me. Or watching E.T., stuff like that. That's sad. I can't watch E.T. anymore. It's just something gets me. I don't know why. Just something about it like triggers something in me. But yeah, I mean, the first thing I noticed in the movie, I liked. I liked the kids. I thought they did really good with the brother and sister. He's got a janky car. I relate to that. I have a janky car. He tapes up his mirror. I've done shit like that. I don't understand why they had to show the dad's dick in the shower. I get it, it's real, but could they not have just shown his torso? Did we really need to see his schlong hanging to the side? Like, come on. I mean,
It
it's
was in his
Artistic,
contract.
John. It's artistic.
it's realistic. I know I know, but come on, we didn't need to see
the
his.
shock. It's the shock factor.
It is the shock factor.
Would it have
fair.
been weirder if he was wearing swim trunks?
It would have been that would have been kind of creepy, honestly. Like why? It was clear from the beginning that she didn't give a shit about the brother, Andy. She didn't even know his name right. She called him the wrong name. She didn't care if he was there. She was kind of like, "Oh, that's your room over there, love." She's obviously quirky and kind of crazy. You can get that vibe from her immediately. She's got the loud music. She's got the stuffed dog, which I know people taxidermy the dog. I get it, but it's just little things. You're just like, this is kind of odd, right? So you can just tell there's something weird about this lady. She's a counselor, and I thought that was interesting, the idea that she's someone who provides a safe space, but she's the most unsafe person you could be around. And in a way, a lot of those people sometimes, I mean, I'm all for counseling and therapy, but sometimes those people, the wrong people and getting involved in that can be dangerous, right? Because they can manipulate people. And I think that was interesting. They played on that. The whole funeral kiss thing. Oh my God, that was, God.
I was going to mention that.
God almighty, that was bad. Like, I was like, oh, you evil bitch. I think, and I see what they're doing with the movie. They're playing on trauma. They're playing on this idea that trauma is contagious. It makes people insane. It spreads like a disease. I mean, I can, like, from personally, I can relate to some ideas in this movie. I understood what they were trying to say, and I think it was for their friend who died. So I didn't really have a problem with that. Like I think I could see what they were trying to do, and I really wasn't offended by that. I will say the guy, so the VHS tape she's watching with the ritual, it's like from Russia or something. Why is the guy in his underwear every time? What's with the fat guy in his underwear? Is that just like a requirement? He's got to be in his underwear when he's chaining the girl up. I think the biggest problem this movie has, and the reason it's not higher for me, is because it's a little too long, which is a weird thing to say because it's only like an hour and 45 minutes. It just drags a bit. Like there's parts of the movie where after by the end of it, I was like, man, if they clipped out like 10 to 15 minutes, this would be way higher for me. I think they just like there were lingering moments where they wanted to sit in like the cult stuff and her looking through the glass, looking outside, and just kind of the more intimate moments. They kind of lingered on them so long that I just think it kind of dragged and dragged a bit. I think that's probably my only real criticism of this movie, honestly. But overall, I mean, I kind of liked it. I thought it's way better than Talk to Me. It's a horror movie, but it's really like a drama with some fucked up things in it. So it's yeah, I really didn't have a problem with it. Of a lot of the A24 movies that come out and things that get hyped up, overall I didn't mind it. So yeah, I kind of liked it.
Yeah, I think the lingering part, I don't necessarily agree with that. I felt like it drug on, but like one scene in particular was the after party of the funeral. I felt like that was very long, where they were getting drunk, and they're
Right.
kids. It shouldn't take that long to get them drunk, anyways. Like, here's 2 beers. All right, I'm gonna go piss in a cup and pour it on you later. Um, what a super dark and depressing movie. I will admit, after Talk to Me, again, it's on my shelf. I'm gonna give it another shot, especially after this one. But I wasn't into going to see this in theaters. But I have a AAA 24 or AAA 24, whatever you guys want to call it, membership. So every movie they have, I have a free ticket to when it comes out for opening weekend. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to use this. It's horror. That's my bag. I'm going to go. The biggest takeaway, which John has touched on, which Kellen alluded to, is fuck Sally Hawkins in this film. Unlike John, I don't have an issue with her other. I don't know that I've ever seen her in anything besides The Shape of Water, which she was fine in. Was she mute in that?
She was mute, yeah.
So maybe I don't fucking like her. Only if she keeps her mouth shut. I don't know, but I didn't have an issue with her. But this movie puts her up there with some of the worst cinematic villains we've ever had, and I wrote down a few for reference. One of my number ones forever, I think she might have overshadowed, is Dolores Umbridge from the Harry Potter series. Biggest bitches on the planet. Billy Zane in Titanic. Warden Norton in Shawshank. The mayor from Jaws. She is worse than all of these people combined. Like, she is so terrible, but she plays it so well. So well. Like, if she didn't win, she was nominated for an Oscar for Shape of Water, and I get it. Because she's good in this from an acting standpoint. She's just so fucking miserable you can't stand her because we know what her plans are from the jump, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, it's horror, clearly, but it is more of a drama because there's like 4 big scenes, right? I enjoyed the cult clips. Like that was intriguing to me. I don't understand why a fella was in his drawers. To each their own. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they could cling to his clothes, grab his clothes. It makes them harder to grab. They'll grab a stomach instead. But
Yeah.
the worst parts, which Kellen had talked about a few, is the knife. And you know, it's spoilers, so I'm gonna tell you exactly what happens. He's left alone. Andy's left alone with Oliver, and this is the only part that I noticed on the second watch where they reference "Talk to Me." And I was talking to John about it earlier. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but when he's sitting there in the kitchen before the knife scene happens, he says to Oliver, he says, "You know, you can talk to me." And I'm like, "Oh, look at that! He said it. He said the thing." So I don't know if that was intentional or not. But anyways, he gets fruit. He cuts a piece off. He puts it, stabs it with a knife. Oliver, you hungry? He tells Oliver to take it off. He doesn't. And then you hear just this gnashing and Oliver's got the knife halfway down his throat and is chewing on it, rips his lip. Horrible, horrible scene. They follow that up later with the table scene where he's chewing on a table. That gives me the ick because of the splinters. You're never getting all that shit out, but like it's there forever. The peeing part was cringy, where she pissed and then poured it on him to make him think, "Hey, you're wet in the bed. You got some issues." Blah, 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 trying to push him further and further and further away. Eating the skin. Oliver eats his own skin at some point. That was super hard. Like where he like rips it and like, you know. I assume he ate the cat.
Ugh.
They don't show that, which we mentioned earlier in a text. I'm glad they didn't show that because that would have pissed me off. Knife in the mouth, sure. Eating wood, sure. But you better not show that cat getting killed on screen, by God. But and it's also it's what's come to horror, and not necessarily A24 specifically, but in the last couple of years, we've gotten away from scary, and we've mentioned this numerous times on the show. We've gotten away from scary, and we replaced it with uncomfortable. You know, this movie, I don't know that it's scary, but it makes you feel a certain way. You know, like the events of this week has made us feel a certain way inside. This movie does that for you, like Human Centipede. You know, that's a movie that it's not scary. I guess if you take away and say, well, this could, you know, someone could really be crazy enough to do this. Yeah, that part's scary. The idea is scary.
Yeah, I would say Human Centipede 2 is a better example because that movie just is.
I haven't made it that far.
Two is wholly unbelievable. The first one is like, okay, here's a doctor who's lost his mind and is trying to prove he's right. The second one is just a crazy guy trying to
watch the movie, right?
Movie. Yeah.
And the third one's prison with like, let's see how many ass to mouse we can do in one sitting.
Yeah, the third one is absolutely just. I mean, it. You take away the centipede part, and it's just such a dumb movie.
Millipede, human millipede, sci-fi original. Anyways, but like like
yes, I've seen all 3 human centipedes, but not The Shining. Continue.
Fucking A, nature. Movies like that. That's what we're going for now. We're going for that. You're going to walk out of this theater or off your couch and you're texting somebody. I'm like, holy shit, dude. Jordan and I think text back and forth when we both watched it. Like, holy shit. Like the night, all that. So it's effective, right? And it's well shot. It looks amazing. Like they know what they're doing. Like John said, they know what they're doing. And I'm excited. And they're so young and they're so happy. That's what's crazy. Like I've seen interviews, they're just so happy and bouncy. Like, yeah. So I look forward to what they bring because usually it's a sophomore slump, and this was not the case. This one outshined the first movie for me, and I know for John and maybe Kellen, TJ, I don't know about everybody else, but this was a better movie. So I absolutely loved it. Again, I'm not going to watch it anytime soon. Again, I'm not going to watch it next week. I might not even watch it in a year. But when my AAA 24 money gets up to enough to buy the movie, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to have it. It's going to be on my shelf. It's going to be there when I'm ready. Because I did like it a lot. So, all right. Anybody got anything else? We'll wrap up, give our rankings, and then move on to the next.
Yeah, no, pretty much. Also, I do want to slide in something though. So again, the second watch, seeing the actual form of Oliver, did you notice some of the clips and stuff where it would show like him holding a camera? It showed Oliver with horns, like how he was supposed to be in his like creature form.
I didn't notice that. Wow.
I didn't notice that.
Dude, check that stuff out.
So, all right, everybody watch it again tomorrow.
I'll take your word for it.
Oh, I didn't mention the drowning. That may have been one of the hardest things to watch because the whole time you're rooting for the kid because you know what's happening. And even in the beginning, she dies in the rain, I think is what he's told, but it turns out it was him. I don't know. That part was super fucked up too. So
you know what it reminded me of? When The Sopranos, when Tony Soprano killed his cousin after the car wreck, where he can't really react, so he just covers his mouth and his nose until he stops breathing. That's kind of what it reminded me of, because he's like on the ground, like barely able to move, and she just.
What season is that?
6.
Motherfucker.
Have you not finished it?
Neither one of us watching me and Jordan.
I literally, when you said it, I was like, oh God, oh God, oh God. I know, oh God.
I don't know which cousin. I'm going to forget.
That show has been out for 30 years. That's your
We didn't
fault.
appreciate it back then. We didn't appreciate it back then. We appreciate it now. But we were talking about it earlier, and I spoiled something else for him, and he's like, I don't think I've seen it.
Oh no.
Fuck, Kellen, you're the worst.
I was
All right.
just talking about how Kellen has not had any bad takes in a hot minute, and then you come out and you ruin Sopranos.
He came out swinging.
It was in the early 2000s.
Dude.
You haven't seen The Shining.
Yeah, and I know everything that happens because people have talked about it. I'm not going to complain because I know what happens. I know Jack Torrance freezes at the end because I've seen clips of it. That's
weren't
on
on
me.
that
That came
episode?
out in the 70s.
You weren't on that episode, I guess.
No, I wasn't on that episode. No,
Oh, that
with
was
Lena Scissorhands. No,
Oh yeah. Okay.
5 stars.
I 100% know what happens in the movie because it came out in the 70s.
Well, we know how The Soprano ends. We just don't know how we get there. We know it's
so
fade
what
to black.
happens is
But all right. Thanks, Kellen. All right, let's go around and give our rankings.
Jordan's never coming back.
I gave it a 4. I gave it a 4 originally, and I'm sticking with a 4. Kellen?
Yeah, so when Tony Soprano enters, no, I'm kidding. No, like I said, this is okay. As far as feelings, I give it a 0. Screw this movie. As far as a quality film, it's a 3.5. The acting's good, the story's there. It does its job, and that's what movies are supposed to do. They're supposed to convey whatever the director was trying to convey, and this movie does that in spades, which is for you to walk away feeling really terrible about everything that happened. So
Same ranking as
3.5.
You gave Species a 3.5 too.
Species is a fun movie. It's just it's silly. It doesn't require any real attention to it. It's just
I'm glad you didn't like Pussy tapes,
Poughkeepsie?
whatever it is.
Poughkeepsie tapes.
Everybody raves about it. I'm not a fan, and you weren't either. So, but not the best character to relate to on rankings. But anyways, I digress. 3.5 from Kellen. Jordan.
So, and maybe I have to rewatch Talk to Me because I feel like maybe I'm missing something. When I watched it the first time, I thought it was pretty good, but I've only seen it once, so maybe I have to rewatch it and start to hate it like everybody else. But in terms of this movie, I mean, like I said, when I got out of the theater, I texted you almost immediately. I'm like, wow, this movie is wild and awesome. Makes you feel really, 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 really sad. I like the watching Nickelodeon afterwards is probably a good idea for this movie. I give it a solid 4 for me.
John.
Yeah, I didn't mind, Sally Hawkins in this movie. I think as it went on, I didn't necessarily like her character, but I saw what they were doing, especially towards the end with the drowning. And it was this weird thing where I really could see how with the writing they brought out, I think like because she's a good actress, she was able to bring like just a smidge of humanity in that scenario of like how she felt bad about it, but then she didn't, but then she like it was just that's like good acting, right? And understanding layers to a character, and I appreciated that. Overall though, it's a drag, but it's not as bad as I thought it was. As far as ratings go, it's just too damn long. It just drug a little long. My gut, what I said today is a 3. And that's not a bad thing. It's just that 3.5 is close, but I really feel more a 3 because I just feel like if they would take 20 minutes out of the movie, I'd probably be okay giving it a 4. But I think because I just felt points it was just dragging and I was like, come on. I had to give it a 3. So 3, it's good.
Well, that sticks us to a 3.6, which we'll call it a 4 anyway. So
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Hey,
I have no problem with that. That's fair.
all right, Sally Hawkins in this movie or J-Lo in The Cell?
That's not a fair comparison. Like,
I don't care.
What do you mean?
J-Lo in
Acting?
the Cell, J-Lo in the Cell is just because she has no real emotional range in that movie. Sally Hawkins is acting her ass off in this.
I mean, Sally Hawkins is better, but J-Lo, I don't think she's that bad in the cell. But just,
but can Sally shake it like J-Lo?
no.
Have you listened to our Cell episode yet, Jordan?
Of course I did. And I couldn't agree more with the absolute bland consistency of her vanilla acting. So
Thank you so much.
He didn't say he agreed with everything else that came out your damn mouth that episode.
No.
So calm
not
down.
always, not always.
Waiting for tonight. All right, that's it for this episode. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to wherever you're listening to this podcast. Although no one listens to this podcast anymore, everyone exclusively watches it except some person There's one or two people a week that actually listen to us. Jordan's one of them, so thank you, Jordan. And the other person, maybe Jordan listens to it twice. Maybe it registers twice. I don't know. But you can listen to us or watch us. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok. I've been sharing our Amazon Music playlist, which is tight. So check that out too if you have Amazon Music. It's a couple of hours long, but it's good. Scores, bands, including Jordan's The Graying on there.
Before you sign off, we are 41 subscribers away from 1,000 on YouTube.
Woo!
That's pretty good.
YouTube's tricky to get subs on. Like you can pay for
is.
it, but I'm like, I don't know. We've done well on Instagram. I've done well on Instagram. Anyways, signing off. I'm Jay with John, Jordan, and Kellen. And until next time.
Can I say
Keep it spooky.
You should have. Don't ask, bro. Just jump in.
Ah!
Got to jump in.
Keep it spooky.